Hi everyone and welcome. This is Francesca from Social Work Portal and Case Management Hub. If you're a caseworker, social worker, or therapist who screens clients for depression, this video is for you. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to administer, score, and interpret the PHQ-9, one of the most widely used depression screening tools in the world. And make sure to stick around until the end, where I'll demonstrate how to use a simple case management tool to get progress and statistics reporting automatically from your PHQ-9 assessment submissions. We'll start with the basics. The PHQ-9, or Patient Health Questionnaire-9, is a 9-item screening tool. It's used to assess the presence and severity of depression symptoms. What makes it so powerful is that it maps directly to the DSM-5, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 5th edition. It maps to the DSM-5's clinical criteria for major depressive disorder. So when you use the tool correctly, you're not just guessing. You're using a well-proven diagnostic framework. Another nice thing about the PHQ-9 is that it's not just for licensed clinicians. It's a screening tool, and it's simple enough for anyone to use. Those on outreach teams, social service environments, and primary care settings. And here's a practical win. The PHQ-9 is completely free and in the public domain, so you can use it without any licensing fees. At the end of the video, I'll show you where you can get a free digital copy. So the PHQ-9 pairs nicely with the PHQ-2. Many social services agencies will use this two-step approach. They'll start with the quick PHQ-2, which has just 2 questions, and then if a client flags positive, they'll transition them into the full PHQ-9. So what are some of the key differences between the two? Well, as you probably guessed, one of them is the number of questions. The PHQ-2 is meant for a wider audience as a quick screener to see if someone might flag for potential depression. The PHQ-9 has more questions to dig deeper into what a person may be going through. The PHQ-2 flags for follow-up, that follow-up being the PHQ-9 in many cases. The PHQ-9 will help diagnose the severity of depression symptoms. And then, of course, the timing. 2 questions usually takes less than a minute. The 9 questions, less than 3. Now let's talk about the best practices for administering the PHQ-9 to your clients. The way you introduce it and the environment you create will directly affect the quality and honesty of the answers you receive. Step 1 is setting the environment. This means a private room or corner, a calm tone, and a brief explanation that this is a routine screening, not a judgment call about them. Many clients feel vulnerable, and your demeanor communicates safety. Step 2, introduce the tool simply. Tell the client, I'm going to ask you about how you've been feeling over the last 2 weeks. Keeping it conversational and less clinical can help put them at ease. Step 3, allow the client to self-complete the form wherever possible. When someone's filling out an assessment themselves, they tend to give more candid answers than when an interviewer is asking them the questions. Step 4, review the form for completeness before the client leaves. If you happen to be using a case management software with digital forms, you can often make the questions required. That will help you avoid skipped questions. And step 5, score the PHQ-9 immediately. That way, if a question like question 9 flags concern, you can act in real time, not after the client has walked out the door. And now here's a pro tip, especially if you're new to the PHQ-9 or it's been a while since you've administered it. Take it yourself first. Become familiar with the questions. This will help you be more empathetic to the client's experience. Now for the mechanics. The Patient Health Questionnaire-9 scoring instructions. The math here is beautifully simple, which is one reason this tool is so widely adopted. Each of the 9 questions is scored on a 4-point scale. Not at all equals 0. Several days equals 1 point. More than half the days equals 2 points. Nearly every day equals 3 points. So the total scoring range is 0 to 27. 27 is what someone would get if they answered all 9 questions nearly every day. Now let me give you some context. I've gone into one of the top tools for case management, Case Management Hub. Here I can see the built-in PHQ-9 form. For all the questions respondents are asked over the last 2 weeks, how often have you been bothered by the following problems? The first one is little interest or pleasure in doing things. And here you can see the 4 different responses, each with their score. Then you'll have the second question, and so on as you continue down the 9 questions. Note all of them have the same scores, 0 through 3, depending on the answer chosen. Next, you have the PHQ-9 severity ranges and cutoff scores you need to know. Scores of 0 to 4 mean minimal or no depression. You can monitor their progress, but no intervention is needed. So what is that 0 to 4? That's simply the total of all 9 questions. For example, if someone answers not at all on all 9 questions, their score is 0. The next range is 5 to 9, which is a mild score. This involves watchful waiting and support through standard case management. 10 to 14 signals moderate depression. This is where you'd want to consider a referral or counseling. 15 to 19 is moderately severe. Active treatment is needed, often combining therapy with a medical or psychiatric review. And the 20 to 27 range is severe. This requires immediate clinical intervention and safety planning. And again, a critical reminder, the PHQ-9 is a screening tool. It's not a diagnosis. It shows the potential for a diagnosis, but is not the diagnosis itself. The PHQ-9 results are used by clinicians as a reliable guidepost. Your human judgment and follow-up conversations with the client always matter. Now I want you to pay close attention to this slide because interpreting PHQ-9 Question 9, suicidal ideation, is a critical skill you'll develop as a practitioner. Question 9, the last question on the assessment, asks the client about thoughts of being better off dead or of hurting themselves. If your client marks anything other than a 0, you must take immediate action. You don't want to wait and see here. 3 takeaways are, first, if on question 9 the client answers anything other than a 0, do not leave them alone. As much as you can, keep them in a calm and private space. Reassure them that they're safe and that you are there to support them. Number 3, and this is something you should really handle before your first PHQ-9 screening. Your organization should have a clear crisis safety protocol already in place. You should know exactly who to call, what to say, and how to document the interaction. Let's talk about a real-world scenario. Imagine that you're meeting with your client, Mary. She comes in for a routine screening and marks a 1 on question 9. Without a practiced response, that moment may feel alarming. You may not know immediately what to do. But if you're prepared ahead of time, you can stay calm, stay with her, and activate your protocol. Let's talk about how you can track treatment progress using the PHQ-9. This is where a lot of organizations leave value on the table. They treat it as a one-time assessment. Learning how to use the PHQ-9 to track depression treatment progress transforms this tool from just a snapshot into a motion picture of your client's journey. The concept is simple. Establish a baseline score first. Let's say a client has a 14, indicating moderate depression. Then every 4 to 6 weeks, do a progress check-in, and then have them take the assessment again. Comparing a PHQ-9 baseline assessment versus the follow-up score gives you concrete evidence of whether your services are making a difference. If a client drops from 14 to 7 over 60 days, that's a measurable impact. If they go from a 14 to an 18, that's a red flag, and it's time to adjust your care plan. Now, this type of tracking is also incredibly powerful for how you document PHQ-9 results in EHR or case management systems. Okay, now I promised to show you how you could get easy reporting on your PHQ-9 and really any type of assessment. So let's do that now. We're in a cloud-based system called Case Management Hub. This is the same one where I showed you a digital PHQ-9. Let's take a look at that again. So how do we get our form results to give us rich reporting? Well, in this tool, they generate it automatically as people submit the form. Here on the reporting page, I'm going to go to the form reports. And I'll look up the PHQ-9. I didn't have to create these reports one by one. The system simply looks at the PHQ-9 survey results and auto-generate the charts. And this is aggregated over all my clients. Now, what if I'd rather see a count instead of a percentage? Funders and program directors love data-driven outcomes. This is exactly the kind of evidence that gets grants renewed. Okay, so that's your complete guide for how to do the PHQ-9 assessment. Well done! You're now up to speed on what the PHQ-9 is, how to administer it, how to score it, the importance of question 9, and how to track client progress. Now, if you'd like to get a free PHQ-9, as well as some of the reporting tools that I showed you in the video, just go to socialworkportal.com and click on the free trial button at the top. No credit card is needed, and you can enjoy a free 21-day trial with up to 10 users. Once you log in, go to Forms from the sidebar, Client Forms, and just enter PHQ-9 in the search. Thanks so much for hanging with me and watching my video. If you like this type of content and want to learn more about social services and nonprofit tools and resources, like this video and subscribe to our channel. You'll never miss one of our new exciting videos.